A good night of Shabbos to everyone. Shabbos Rosh Chodesh Menachem Av. A tremendous opportunity for each and every one of us to be blessed and benched by the Father Himself, by Kadosh Baruch Hu, by God Almighty, to have Menachem comfort us, console us, and bring us the ultimate redemption. I want to talk about this week a concept that is probably not spoken about much, and that is the power of inclusion and how it's related to Avas Yisrael, open and honest communication with including more and more people in our lives in a loving way. And I'll cite several examples. Years ago, someone came over to me, a former professor at Touro College, and he said, I think you would do a lot for Touro College if you got involved. And I said, I'm a shliach, I'm writing, I'm lecturing. He said, but you could use some extra parnasa. Why don't you go see Dr. Bernie Lander, the founder of Touro College? I said, okay. I went down to Manhattan, it's about 20 years ago or so, and I presented to him an idea that I thought would be beneficial for his university, for his college, and that is working with the alumni. I had experienced in alumni work as a director of alumni in 1997 for the United Lubavitch Yeshiva for 770. I was hired by Rebbe Zalman Lapakovsky, the Rosh Yeshiva, and Rabbi David Raskin. And I presented the idea to Dr. Lander. Now, please understand, Dr. Lander was in his early 90s, I believe, at the time. He was half blind. His mind worked. He came to work every day at 8 o'clock from Queens, where he lived. And he was on the top of his game, with millions and millions of dollars of subsidies received from the government, colleges all over, doing so much for Jewish people by giving them parnasa, both from the Haredi world and the modern Orthodox world. People who are accountants today and therapists many of them went through Touro. He didn't need Chaim Dalfin to come and give him a new idea at 90 years old. I presented the idea and I thought to myself, this is a real waste of time. I'm just doing this to satisfy this friend. Lo and behold, he says to me, it's a great idea. I want to do it. In fact, I want you maybe to help me open up a program in Los Angeles. I want you to help me with this and help me with that. And I was amazed. Here I am with my beard that wasn't as white as it is now, with my yarmulke, with my Lubavitcher hat. And he's taking me in and saying, I want your idea. It took a half a year, and he said, I'm gonna notify this dean and that dean of this school and that school, and they'll be in touch with you. A half a year later, a dean called me and says, come into my office. I want to give you the job. I want you to start this alumni program for us, which we did for several years. I was an independent contractor, an outside consultant for them. What did I see? What did I learn from this? I learned that you're not too old at 90 to include new ideas. That's a real visionary. And Dr. Lander was in his midlife when he started Touro College in the 1970s, 76, I'm not sure what year. He was an accomplished man. He had a PhD. He had prestige. He was a rabbi. He was known, and he was not satisfied. He wanted more. That same enthusiasm and leadership quality that he had when he started Touro College in the 70s, I felt in 2000 or so, year 2000 to 2002, forget when I met him. Because in his very essence, he was about visionary leadership. What more can be done? Avas Yisrael means to include people, not to exclude them. Maybe they're not right in this field, maybe they're not right in that field, maybe they're not successful here, not successful there. So you find them a place in which they'll be successful. Everyone has a talent. Everyone has something they can contribute. We, the leaders, need to look at people that way. That's Avas Yisrael. Let's take our Rebbe. The Rebbe, I heard from the Rebbe myself out of Farbrengen. Chilukei deos, difference of opinions, is healthy. Machloikis, argumentation and divisiveness, is unhealthy. Chilukei deos enhances the product. It markets it better because you include more opinions. You don't exclude them. Yes, you have your prototype and you have your agenda and you have your way of running your company. You have the way you run your family. You have the way you run your yeshiva. So if the boy or the girl doesn't fit for this yeshiva, you find them a yeshiva. It's the responsibility of every educator that every Jewish child, every yeshiva bacher, every girl be in a yeshiva, at least to try to be in a yeshiva before they go out to the workforce. This is Avas Yisrael. Inclusion, not exclusion. And our Rebbe taught this and wanted this from his organizations, his shluchim, his people. So when it comes a time like now, the 9 days, and we need to find ways of showing God that we are doing things to include more people. These are some very, very practical things that we all can do if we only get out of the way with our ego, with our I know better, I was put in this position, on and on. And when we do this, all of us have more success. And when God sees that we are putting ourselves aside, making room for another, including another, not excluding them, Hashem says, I'm going to include you, and you, and you, and everyone, and He brings Mashiach. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu help that we find this in our personal lives, in our family lives, in our community lives, and only through inclusion will we benefit. And again, I emphasize, I'm not saying that you should include someone in a position where they're either no good for that position or they're actually, they'll ruin the situation. So find them another position. But it's your responsibility. That's the idea here. Don't shrug your shoulders and say, it's not my problem. That's not Avas Yisrael. That's not love for another Yid, for another Jew. May Hashem help. We should do this and do this with simcha. It's a time, Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, to say l'chaim, to make a farbrengen, to have a kiddush, to wish each other well, and to truly try to help each other in a way that will bring only goodness and kindness in a revealed way with the ultimate coming of Mashiach, b'mheira v'yameinu, amen v'amen.